And now, as promised, the my full-length version of the show about the Bermuda Triangle. The history of the Bermuda Triangle dates all the way back to the days of Columbus, when Christopher Columbus was one of the first to discover strange lights flashing over Bermuda's waters as he sailed for the New World. Also, one of the first ones to actually report it, I might add. There's a good chance it went on long before that, but he was the first one to actually record it in the captain's log. Now, strange disappearances have been in the Bermuda Triangle, going on in the Bermuda Triangle for many, many years, and will continue to go on. Now, some people try to dispute the Bermuda Triangle, saying, oh, it's storms, it's this, it's that. Well, first of all, storms to the Bermuda Triangle come out of nowhere. It can be a clear day, sunlight, 80 degrees. A storm in the Bermuda Triangle comes out of nowhere and disappears just as quick. Explain that. Explain why you can't find all these ships and planes. No survivors. No victims. No wreckage found. Can't explain it, right? No one can. They also try to say that gas bubbles are what's sucking the planes out of the skies and what's sucking ships. If that were the case, I don't think the Titanic would have even made it out of port. Well, the Titanic did not go down in the Bermuda Triangle, went up farther north, but if gas bubbles are everywhere in the ocean, how does any ship make it across? Now, these scientists, they do experiments where the gas bubble will suck down a toy boat. Well, that's a plastic toy. I mean, I could do that same experiment in my sink, and I'm not even a scientist. So, anyways, among the books and movies you can get on the Bermuda Triangle, this is one called They Sailed into Oblivion, which is basically what happens. I mean, nobody knows where you go. Nobody knows where the ship ends up. There's different versions of it, like you go into a different time and place, which I think is certainly possible. Where there was this one instance where a plane flew over the island, but they couldn't find the landing strip. They couldn't find the airport, so even though they were over the island, they seemingly went back in time to a time when the airport wasn't there. The airstrip didn't exist. So that there's the time warp. So what I'm looking for. There's a time warp. There's where your compasses go nuts. You start spinning like crazy. You hit Bermuda Triangle. And another thing about the Bermuda Triangle is it doesn't take everything. It picks what and who it wants. Like Flight 19, December 5th, 1945. Routine flight mission just after World War II ended. Five Navy torpedo bombers took off from Miami and disappeared. All 5 planes. Of course, none of the planes have ever been found. There was a flying boat that searched for them that also disappeared with everybody aboard, I might add. So 6 planes, 27 men vanished without a trace. And every time that they think that they found the one of the planes, it's a different serial number, but it's a World War II plane, and I'm like, I'm not surprised, because you're not going to find something that can't be found. I mean, it's been, this December it'll be 71 years, so, I mean, they searched 1,000 square miles when it happened, so if they didn't find anything then, they're not going to find anything now. And it's also called the Devil's Triangle for a reason. Yeah. This is this is a DVD that you can get. It's a triple feature. It features The Devil's Triangle, narrated by the legendary Vincent Price. Charles Berlitz's The Bermuda Triangle, which is based off of his book, and Bermuda Triangle Secrets Revealed, which really, that one wasn't the greatest. I mean, it touched on like someone like the small fishing boats that have gone down in the Bermuda Triangle, or supposedly went down in the Bermuda Triangle, that something that they've actually found. That's the only thing they seem to find. If they find anything at all, is small craft. And just because they showed Ocean 4 doesn't mean it's in the Bermuda Triangle. And that's why I don't fully trust that last one there. The first two I mentioned on the disc are worth the price alone, though. So for the $10 that you pay for it plus shipping, it's worth it for that. And then this one's one of my favorites with Judd Nelson. It's called Lost Voyage, and his parents disappeared in their Bermuda Triangle like in the 70s. So he becomes interested in it and gets all this like high-tech equipment, and they find the ship that the ship reappears that his parents were on, called the Corona Queen, and they go aboard. It's a ghost ship. So the movie's really done well. I mean, usually with movies like that, they're hit or miss, but this one was really done well. Special effects are really good. And it's about 12 years old, so, I mean, it may seem a little dated by today's standards, but I think it still holds up. Yeah, you haven't seen really too many movies on the Bermuda Triangle, really. I mean, I've seen most of the ones I know that are out there, and a couple of them just, yeah, they weren't done very well. I think the best one I've seen, if I had to pick this one, would be The Triangle with Luke Perry and Dan Cortese. Came out in 2001, and kind of a similar storyline. They decided to go fishing in the Bermuda Triangle, which I guess that's an interesting vacation to pick, I guess. I mean, something I would try. Wouldn't bother me none. But anyways, they go fishing the Bermuda Triangle, and the ship named the HMS Queen of Scots reappears after about 60 years, and they go aboard, and strange things start happening, where it's haunted by the people that were on it, the victims of it, and one of them was an actor named Reginald Barrow, who you see the mock movie poster when you watch the movie on the shed, and it's a movie called Wings of Freedom, which is a World War I air fighting movie. Wish it was real, because I would watch that. And the ship's log said he went nuts aboard and freaked out and like killed some people and stuff like that. But it's a pretty interesting movie if you can get a hold of it. I mean, I've seen it in like movie packs, so if you don't mind a couple of like whatever other movies are on it, then you can get that one. By itself, it's harder to get. I mean, I guess you can order it depending on what you want to pay for it. I mean, it is worth it. So it just really depends on where you're willing to look for it and watch it or not. But the thing that intrigues me about the Bermuda Triangle is that it's a mystery. I mean, that's one of the things that makes life worth living is that it's something that can't be explained. It's one of those things that people always try to explain it. They always offer their theories. Even the great Albert Einstein had a theory about the Bermuda Triangle, and he was literally a genius. And I trust him more than I trust these so-called scientists of today. That I mean, that thing just came out on Yahoo News again. That the Bermuda Triangle. The scientists think the Bermuda Triangle is maybe gas bubbles, and I was like, yeah, that theory's like 40 or 50 years old. That's nothing new. But anyway, Einstein, very smart man, he knew there was something going on there. So I mean, these people are really going to argue with somebody that's probably one of the greatest minds of all time. There's many things in life that can't be explained. I'll give you another example. Getting a little off topic here, but the death of the Red Baron. Okay, he was brought down by a single shot. Now they all shot the same bullet, the opposing planes and the machine guns on the ground. So you're never going to know who fired the fatal shot, no matter how hard you try to analyze it. The only thing that they've really proven was based on the time he had to bring the plane down, 12 to 20 seconds, and most likely wasn't Roy Brown. That's the only thing that they've really proved. But as far as who actually fired the fatal shot, you're never going to know that. You know, it's just a mystery that's never going to be solved. I mean, honestly, I think that's the best way for it to be. Because, I mean, if everything could be explained, why would you even want to get out of bed in the morning? I mean, just like there's ghosts out there, spirits, as I like to be called. Sorry about that, phone went off. But my favorite, I got interested in the Bermuda Triangle, I'd say 6th or 7th grade, and I started studying it, and just never really stopped. I mean, like I said, it's something that a lot of people don't understand, so they try to rationalize it. Like there was this one author that wrote a book called Bermuda Triangle Mystery Solved. Well, that guy really doesn't know what he's talking about, because I guarantee that if he went there and actually stayed in the Bermuda Triangle for a while, he may have a different opinion. But obviously, he was just somebody that sat behind a typewriter and just wrote a book. I mean, it's amazing what you can get published these days. Look at country music, for example. You can't even really call it country music anymore. I mean, the stuff today, like, you know, doesn't even sound like country. They have to bring like other sounds into it, like rock and rap, and it's like that's not country. I mean, if you want real country, listen to Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, stuff like that. You know, Things change, I guess. It is what it is. But anyways, there is more than one Bermuda Triangle. There's one called the Michigan Triangle. I'm still learning about that one, but there's ships and planes that have disappeared there that they've never found. There's one called the Devil Sea, which I guess is around Japan or something like that. There's one in Alaska called the Alaskan Triangle. That one's interesting because the plane flies there. There's so many mountains and stuff. I mean, you would think that people would find the bits and pieces of the planes when they crash, but not the case. So there's definitely something that's controlling those areas. I mean, another theory is electromagnetic fields. But the thing about that is would that really cause a plane or a ship or a person to disappear? And if that were the case, why are we even here? I mean, it seems like it would be so easy just to step in a magnetic field and vanish if that were the case. But I'm still here, so I got to dismiss that theory. But what was I gonna say? Another theory is sea monsters, which I think is certainly possible because less than 5% of the ocean has been explored, and they're always finding new fish and finding different species of sharks and octopus and stuff. And even if something doesn't always doesn't make itself seen, like say a megalodon, which is a 60-foot shark. Now you're not going to see something that doesn't want to be seen, and I don't care how big it is. And they haven't found that many fossils of the megalodon, so I was like, well, that's probably because it's not extinct. I mean, they thought the giant squid was extinct, and it's not. And people that encounter one usually don't like it too much because they are aggressive. What you see in like a horror movie, like Bermuda Tentacles, which I have, it's another Bermuda Triangle one. Yeah, squids are aggressive. And there's like I said, some of the depths of the ocean are so deep that even a most significant submarine cannot get down inside the deepest point. So you really don't know what's down there. Of course, if there is like giant octopus or something down there, you probably don't want to disturb it. You may end up getting a nasty little surprise that you really don't want. I mean, there's this video here on YouTube that you can watch of this octopus leaping out of the tide pool and grabbing a crab. And I did not know an octopus could do that. So that was certainly interesting. The fact that he jumped right out, I mean, that is something that you see in a horror movie. But if they can do that, for real, there's a problem if you encounter one. I mean, I think octopuses are pretty cool looking, but not sure that I would want to see one that's like my size, because I know some of the octopuses can get pretty big. How big? I don't know. Another thing that they believe, that some believe is below the Bermuda Triangle out in the waters off Bimini is the lost city of Atlantis. And based on what I've seen, I think there may actually be something to that. I don't know with 100% certainty, but based on the footage I've seen of the waters below, I'd say that there's a good chance that could be the lost city of Atlantis, because they say it disappeared in the ocean, back into the ocean. Which, you gotta wonder if it happened to Atlantis, could it happen to the rest of the world? Probably. I mean, I watched this documentary on the History Channel a few years ago, or caught the last part of it, and it talked about hurricanes. And one of the things that slows a hurricane down when it comes inland is land. And because all these smaller islands are starting to disappear back into the ocean, eventually there's going to be nothing to slow the hurricane down when it comes inland. So if it's a Category 5 hurricane, it's going to stay that way, which means you're going to get the full force of it. And that's not going to feel too good. There's something that happened a few months ago. This, I think it was like a Mexican ship sailed in the Bermuda Triangle during a storm or during a hurricane. I was like, "Are you an idiot?" I was like, "What were they thinking?" I mean, sailing in the Bermuda Triangle is like testing fate enough, because you don't know if you're going to be one of the ships or planes that it wants. And if it wants you, it's going to take you. And well, they may have found the boat this time, but guarantee those people who are on it will think twice about sailing in the Bermuda Triangle during a big storm again. Then again, as Ron White said, you can't fix stupid. So, I mean, if I was going to go fishing in the Bermuda Triangle, I'd at least try to make sure that the weather was going to be nice. Like I said, with those storms that come out of nowhere, well, you can't really predict those, can you? Because they come and they disappear just as fast as they came. Water spouts that form out of nowhere. It's just kind of a scary place, I guess would be the best way to put it. At least for some people. I mean, I find it interesting. Which is why I study it and I try to figure things out. I mean, I know the mysteries are never gonna be solved. But, you know, it's still interesting to look at. I mean, like Flight 19, as I said before. I mean, they spent days searching for those planes and they could not find them. And then one of the main planes that were searching for them, that big flying boat there, disappeared with everybody aboard that. So, the Bermuda Triangle had one of the record days, I guess you could put it. Took 6 planes in a short amount of time that they never found any trace of. That's the weird part. When they don't find wreckage, they don't find traces of oil, they don't find remains. Yeah, I saw something not too long ago, but I think it was an old sales boat or something. I forget what it was called, but it was another boat, anyways, that reappeared in the Bermuda Triangle after years after disappearing. That's another thing that happens there is that ships will like reappear years after they've disappeared. Which means if you see it, if you plan to go aboard it, you're kind of tempting fate by going aboard it, because if it disappears again and you're on it, you pretty much go with it wherever it goes. As far as planes, I don't know if any planes have reappeared there, but certainly possible, I guess. I mean, for all I know, that's where the spirit of the Red Baron could be. I mean, planes only started disappearing there like after World War II ended, so he was killed in World War One. So who knows? Like I said, it's open up to whatever theories people have on the subject. But if you watch The Devil's Triangle, narrated by Vincent Price, I mean, you can tell he really enjoyed it, because there's several times during the documentary he goes, "No survivors, no victim, no wreckage found." One of the one of the boats that disappeared on it, or disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle, that's covered on the DVD, is Witchcraft, which lived up to her name, apparently. And the thing is that they were only a mile offshore. They could see the lights of shore, and they called the Coast Guard and everything, but the Coast Guard couldn't find them, because even though they were only a mile offshore, as Vincent Price stated, they were still in the Devil's Triangle. So, and the Witchcraft was never heard from again. And another weird thing about this is that a lot of the disappearances have occurred during the Christmas season. So the Bermuda Triangle seems to like people that travel around the Christmas holiday. It's almost like kind of the Bermuda Triangle, and we'll give you a trip or something like that. We'll give you a vacation. Well, I guess you don't get a refund if you don't live. I guess is the best way to put it, because you disappear without a trace. I mean, are you really dead? I mean, because if you're not pronounced dead and they don't know you died for sure, I mean, you could be living in another time in another place. Because once the triangle takes you, it obviously takes you somewhere. Question is where. But anyways, interested in what y'all might think about it, so I'll try to cover more on this at a later date, and I'm gonna find out more about the other triangles, like the Michigan Triangle and the Alaskan Triangle. So this is a good start, I think, and I'm new at doing these YouTube videos, so just bear with me. I'm gonna do the best I can. I don't have the best microphone or even the best camera, but it's a start, you know. So anyway, as Hank Williams always said when he closed his radio show, if the good Lords are willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll see you again before long. Thank you.